Hello and welcome to the Bober Academy Football Podcast as we kick off our Lineman of the Week series here in 2026. We're so happy to have the Elkhorn Antlers here today. Before we get started, just want to remind everyone out there, if you're listening to this podcast on your podcast app, make sure you click the subscribe button. If you're watching this on YouTube, right down there is a button to subscribe to our channel. I offer all kinds of content out there. You can follow us on socials at Bober Academy is our handle. And new this year, I do have a school account now where you can go on there. You can watch our drills of the week. I've recorded a lot of my coaching sessions on there, and you can even drop some film on there and I can give you some evaluation. So thanks again for joining us here. I am so excited to kick off the year with the Elkhorn Antlers, right? God, I live in Elkhorn. My kids graduated from Elkhorn. My son was a captain on the 2020 championship team. My daughter won a state championship on the dance team. Love everything about the Elkhorn Antlers, everything they represent. Kind of old school, hard nose, smash you in the teeth kind of football. This week we are joined by a couple of dudes, man, and their head coach, right? Coach McVey is here. Coach going into his second year is looking for a great year. Also have a couple of guys that I'm actually super familiar with. Senior captain Liam Houston is here. Also, just a junior, even though he's been a starter since his freshman year, is Eli Betz. Of course, number 78, just like his big brother Aiden, who played with Austin. Guys, thanks for coming out here today. I appreciate you guys joining me.
Of course.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it.
Now, this is one of the cool things, Coach, is both of these guys have been in my academy. I've got to work with these guys. I know how good they are. Liam is just one of those guys that is super coachable. Right. And he asks a ton of questions. Is a technician, but also likes to get after it. He's come to my camp. He's come to my, I think, summer school. Eli's been around a couple years at my stuff. I work with his older brother, Aiden, who's out of Midland now. So I know the type of dude you got here. So that's cool. Very rare I get to have some of your guys, but also some of my guys on here too. So that's awesome. So we'll kick this off, Coach. Let's talk about the 2026 Elkhorn Antlers, right? We're going into week one. And week one is always kind of a crapshoot, if you will. I know that, of course, as a coach at Creighton Prep, we're going into week one and you don't have film on everyone, right? You don't know who's going to be starting sometimes on the other team. So we always found, and as we go into this week, our message has been like, well, it's really not about the other team. It's about us, right? And how we don't know how they're going to light up, but it doesn't matter, right? We have rules for everything. And really, we're going to control what we can control. How has camp gone so far, and what is it like leading into week one?
You hit the nail on the head, and I think we had morning meeting today, and I think those words kind of echo a little bit with some of these boys sitting here. We're going to control what we can control. We've got no mental mistakes, no silly penalties, and let's be honest, week one is you got to protect the football, no turnovers, and you have to go get one, if not more. And they've heard that from the beginning of this week, just kind of leaning into it like, hey, weather the storm. Everybody's going to be nervous, but it's just sticking to your rules, the things you've done on repeat since, May.
Yeah,
hey, take your steps here. You know where the guys are coming from. Make your block, finish your assignment, and just execute.
Yeah, even in practice, right? Like we had practice today like you did, and we picked up the pace a little bit because that's how it's going to be in a game. And, you start seeing some slippage there, and you're like, hey, listen, we're just going against a scout team on our practice field, and it's going to get more intense on Thursday or Friday night. And that's a big deal. So, Liam, you're a guy, obviously, as a captain for your senior year. I know you've played a lot of ball for the Antlers. As a senior captain, a guy who's been out under those lights, and I always talk about this thing we call varsity scar tissue, right? You got to go out and experience what it's like to be in a varsity game to then truly excel at it. Well, Liam, you've been out there for a while. You're a captain. Yeah. As a captain, what is your message to these guys? Because you got guys probably maybe starting for the first time or contributing for the first time. What as a leader, what are you telling these guys?
Yeah, so especially for my O-line guys, I really just focusing on trusting your technique and what you've been taught by the coaches. We are pretty repetitive with our stuff. Like we really nail in the head, like McVey said, on what our steps are and what we do. But also trusting the process. Like you're here for a reason. Like coach knows you're good enough to start, so go prove yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like my sophomore year, I got my chance, and I played my butt off, and I've only gotten better since. So
I love it. I love it. And Coach McVey's got to be smiling because, I think in the world we live in, we're very outcome driven, right? And I call it scoreboard watching, right? And what the difference does it make if you're winning 50-0 or losing 50-0, right? It's all part of the process. And, I tell guys, I said, you're going to go out there and you're going to make plays, you're going to make mistakes. And you just want to put yourself in a position where the scoreboard reflects a win. That's like your result, right? It's not what you're chasing. You're chasing the process every single play and every single day. So love hearing you talk to that. Now, Eli, you're a guy who's kind of an old grizzled vet by now, even though you're only a junior. Coming into this year, tell me about this team and what you guys are feeling like going into week one.
We have a lot of good guys, and we have a lot of confidence in ourselves to come in week one and do well. And we've shown that in practice. We go 100% always in practice, and we always show up to everything. And I think we have a good chance of winning week one. I have a lot of confidence in our team.
Nice. So you guys kind of feel like you have something to prove this year, right?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Definitely going into it. I know that is, man. All right, Coach, let's go back to you and tell me about your offense, right? And you and I've talked about several things. I love talking on the sidelines and at coaches' clinics and stuff with coaches like Coach McVey, because we kind of get in the weeds a little bit, and we don't have to get that much in the weeds. But tell me about your offense, what you guys are putting out there starting this year.
So yeah, I mean, last year was kind of the first year for it. We're a 12 personnel team. With some little wrinkles to it. I mean, if you watch on Sunday, you'll see a lot of the stuff you see from the Rams and Sean McVay's offense.
I love
That's kind of, yep. And that's kind of where we're at. I know these two big boys get to make a lot of line calls, and they call, like, I coach the tight ends. And so they're calling them into different block schemes and things like that. And I think that was a lot of something new that we hadn't done before. And I think those seniors last year and these kids that are there now, like, I think they really love that they get challenged to do not only be a part of the block game, but then they're involved in the passing game as well. And it puts a little more stress on the defense. If you have 12 personnel out there, what are you going to do? You better walk a safety down, or we're going to run the ball, or, hey, if we're not, we're going to try to throw it. It just that type of math.
Tell me about some of the guys we're going to talk about these guys specifically in the O-line here next, but tell me about, like, your quarterbacks, receivers, running backs. Who do you guys got back there, and what are you looking forward to?
Yeah, so we return Matt Ott, I think had over 500 yards receiving. Our starting quarterback return had over 1,200 yards passing offense. Our running back returns, he had over 700 last year as a first-year starter. Brady Matale, he's back at tight end. And a couple other junior boys that are going to step into some roles on offense that I'm pretty excited about. Today when we started off the meeting, I was like, there's no pouting on offense about you didn't get the ball. Our quarterback's supposed to distribute it and read it, and the more kids that touch it in our offense, the harder it is to defend, because then you don't know where it's going to go. You don't have to focus on just one or three, your top 5 plays. We're looking at a whole system here on what we're doing.
Yeah, football's a funny game. There's 11 guys out there, and all 11 guys matter, right? It's not like baseball where it's a pitcher and a batter, and you're standing around most of the time, but everyone's pretty important out there. So everyone's got to do their job. I love that message. All right. So, Eli, tell me about your running game. Tell me what you guys do in the run. Tell me your running backs, and are they a little bit different? How do they like to run the ball, and how do you guys like to block for them?
we do a lot of like reach blocking. We do a lot of zone blocking and inside run. I do a lot of just getting to backer, and our running backs, they like cutting and like outside and going inside. I don't really know what they really do much, but yeah.
Well, you run that inside zone, you got to press the angle and let that defense over pursuit and get you the cutbacks. Then it's all about second level, right? Getting guys like Eli up there and doing that. So that's all. I love run the ball, man. Run. They have those hats that say "run the damn ball." You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm one of the coordinators, but I'm not the play caller. But I'm heavily influencing the play caller. I'm in his ear all the time, and believe me, I'm calling for run plays. But you do have a quarterback coming back. Liam, tell me about your quarterback.
Yeah, Barron, man, he has gotten so much better. I mean, he works his butt off. And he studies the game. He works really hard, and I mean, he cares for all of us. I mean, he's great, and I'm super proud of him. I know he has something to prove too, and I know he wants to get out there and go compete on Friday, and I mean the rest of the season. So, he's quick. He's a quick dude. He has his pocket presence. I think has gotten way better. He's a lot more calm, and yeah, I mean, he has an arm too. So
All right, I'm back on now. Sorry about that. It took me off. I had a little mishap. O-line do that sometimes. What about your quarterback? Tell me what his personality is like out there in the huddle. And Coach and I were sitting there, and we played football a long time ago. We remember what it's like to be in that huddle, but only you guys get to experience what it's like to be out there just in the huddle. What's his presence like in the huddle?
we don't run much of a huddle, but when he is talking to us, he's always hyping us up. Our big thing this year has been mental resets. So we established that in the offseason, just making sure everyone knows their mental reset. So, next play, and I mean, our overall big mentality this season has been 1-0. Each practice, everything we do, and sticking to that, judging ourselves off of that. But yeah, he's super motivational. Like he keeps us in check. So,
well, even if you're not in the huddle, right, he's still out there running the offense, right?
Yeah.
But that's good. It's so good to have a quarterback that's been out there under those lights before. And I think his preparation is probably a little different this year coming in. Is going to be a senior year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, Coach, now we can get to the good stuff here. Tell me about your offensive line. I'm going to ask these guys questions here, but give me your take of what you guys are putting out there up front, the big boys for the Antlers.
Yeah, no, well, obviously I'm excited about these two coming back with all the snaps they've had under their belt. That's one of our big, I would say one of our big presence on the O-line. We have a couple guys stepping into some roles that I'm pretty excited about. And just the overall communication these guys have has been really, really good from when we run any type of gap scheme to zone scheme. They have been very detailed in their line calls to get to where they need to be. We threw a little wrinkle at them today, and it took a couple reps to figure it out, and then we were humming again. So I think that preparation that they've put in the offseason have really led to that. Just overall communication that they've had, because it's these two guys have been there, but we're putting out 3 new guys, and for them to all get on the same page is important for us to be successful. So that's one of the things I'm proud about with these guys.
Nice. So 2 are those new guys. We got Liam and Eli are playing your tackles, right? Tell me about the guys in the middle.
Yeah. So right now we've got Max Griffith. He's going to be our center. Trey Putsis is going to be our guard, and then Tucker Charleston is going to be another guard. So
nice.
all seniors. All have got game experience, just a little bit different playing on the O-line now.
Nice. So they've been out there. Very good. Okay, Elam, you're on the right side. Is that correct?
Yes, I am. Wait.
Who's on the right side? Eli's on the
I'm right.
Eli.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
You're on the right side. Tell me about the right side. What are you guys doing
There
on
we
the
go.
right side? Like, you got who's next to you? What's it like playing with those guys? How's it been bringing them up to speed?
I'm right next to Trey. And honestly, it's not hard to talk to him and stuff because he was blocked with me last year. He's just tight end last year, so we did a lot of blocking last year together. So honestly, he's gotten used to it really quickly, and our double teams have been really great, and our pulls have been great together. He's been great so far. So
nice, Liam. I got to ask, Coach McVey asked you what play are you going to run? Tell me about which play you want to run. When Coach says pick a play, what do you want to run?
I really like our counter. I like 16 a lot. We've really hit that hard this offseason.
Yeah.
I mean, either like 16 or 17, like the tackles, like we just have such a big responsibility. I mean, pulling and making sure you knock over that 3 tech and go climb up. I mean, it's always fun blocking on counter, but definitely getting to climb up to the second level and go tee off on a linebacker is great. So.
Yeah, I mean, I love gap scheme because there's no second guessing, man. You get on your angle and you blow up whatever's in front of you. You get a nice double team, put someone on the ground, and even if you're the puller, you can do the same thing. So, and I've seen these guys pull, man. I've worked with these guys, so I know they can double team and they can pull. So that's awesome. Okay, Coach. This week, obviously, you got a big challenge with York coming to town, right? Tell me about what York does. I mean, you don't have to get in the weeds on this, but what's kind of your message going into these guys, and kind of how are you preparing specifically for York?
These boys kind of touched on it. Our goal is to go 1-0 and to control what we can control. Make sure we're alignment sound on defense. That's the biggest thing always, right? You can't be 2 guys, 1 gap, that type of thing. Mm-hmm. And just understand that they're going to be in the same boat as us. They're worried about themselves. We have to line up correctly and get out there and execute and get after them. Our defense game plan is pretty simple. It's making sure we're gap sound the whole way across the board, take our chances if we want to get a blitz in here and there, but nothing too deep. We've been running our base stuff for months now. Took a trip out to Missouri Western with these boys so they can get a little extra coverage reps. We played in their 7-on-7 tournament. I think that was something fun they got to get a chance at, and I think that really helped our skill positions out to just get used to some of that, because we haven't been doing that in the past, and it's something new, and the boys got to get out there and have fun. Don't worry, I missed the lineman that day, but at the same time, you just got to do those things right. But yeah, as far as what York does, they're a lot of 10 personnel, and then they'll throw that back in there, and they'll have 21. And so we went over that today. They better be keyed into what's going on with that.
Nice. Yeah. I love it because, it's so hard when you get out there and guys start playing fast. But, I tell my linemen especially, I said, you can control everything that happens before the snap. You know what I mean? And to spend the time working on that, to mentally put you in that position. And like you said, get lined up correctly, know your assignments. And then once the ball snapped, you just go play football. Right. And that takes a lot of preparation, takes a lot of work. It's a good thing you have a couple older guys like that to kind of show the way for those guys. So that's awesome. What about you, Liam? As a captain going into week one, what's the captain's message to these guys this week?
Yeah, I also still hit on trusting everything that we've done. Everyone wants to go out there and prove something. I mean, we have been fired up to go play this year. Just preaching on the fact that, not to lose your cool, mental reset, next play. So just keep working. I hit on this earlier. You're here for a reason. And go compete and go show what you've done this offseason. Go show the work you've been putting in, but no one's watching. So
Nice.
Also with that, we, outside of our captains, we have so many leaders, so many guys who want to help the younger guys. So,
That's awesome. I think it shows you kind of where you are as a team when you vote for captains, and then there's a lot of guys who you're like, wow, that guy could have been a captain, even if they aren't named captains. And we had that same vote this week, and we said just because you didn't get voted a captain doesn't mean you can't be a leader. So it sounds like you guys have a lot of those. All right, Eli, heading into week one, what do you think is the mindset of these guys, this team? You're out there, you played a lot of football, you've been there for a while. How do you feel about this week going into it?
I'm very confident. Our team's been locked in all week and actually all summer too. We have a confidence in ourselves, and I think we can execute and do well. I think we can win, definitely. Yeah.
Nice. I love it. Okay, as we get towards the end here, Coach, do you guys have a motto or a theme this year? Again, it's an Antler tradition. My son's teams, all of them had it. They had some kind of motto every single year. Do you guys have one of those this year that you kind of put on a T-shirt or something? You make a call up or anything like that?
I'm going to defer. These two boys should be able to talk about it because I think they both stood up and told the whole team what the motto meant to them. So,
nice.
They've already done it. So why don't we ask both of them? Liam, you want to go first?
Yeah. So our motto is success is earned, not given.
Nice.
Eli, you want to talk on it?
I just think that means just you go 100% on everything you do, and you watch film, you go to every single lift, go every single practice, and you just go 100% and do everything you possibly can to get better. That's why I think to prove and to get success is to do all that. So
love it. I had a coach that I didn't play for him. He came right after me, Tom Coughlin of the Giants. He has a book that I got probably in this bookshelf back here that says you have to earn the right to win, right? So, to earn that success is going to come because you guys have kind of put in the work here, which is awesome. All right, before we go, you guys got any inside information on the O-line? Tell me, who's the funny guy, who smells, who's done something silly? And we got to keep this, PG here, but any funny stories? The O-line's always one of the closest groups, right? They're going to go out to a buffet together. They're going to hang out and do stuff. Share some stuff out there you think maybe embarrass one of your buddies, or something like that. Tell me about some personality on that line. And Coach, you can jump in here too, because I'm sure you see a lot of it.
Liam, you got that, bro.
All right. Well, I would say, Eli, I'm not digging at you, but out of all the people, if we were to all go meet up, Betz is the one who's staying at home. And if we were all going to go eat food, Betz is also the one staying at home.
Just super shy, right?
I guess
that is 100%, dude. That is Eli, dude. Everybody that wants to come talk to him, I go, Eli, you got to get ready to talk, bro. It's gonna happen. You've got to talk. He's like, yeah, I know. That's the
Yeah,
reaction.
I can see that. He's pretty shy. So his brother was
Mhm.
shy too. His brother was shy too. Who's the one that gets of the group that's kind of the most intense? Who's the one that's out there butting heads with everyone? You know, you go to inside run or one-on-ones. Who's the one that's getting everyone fired up?
Tucker Tollefson, definitely, bro.
Tucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tucker, he's the most emotional in a good way. I mean, he gets fired up for sure. From him he was a DN last year, but he brought all that energy from the defense to the O-line. He's always hyping us up, but yeah, he definitely has that energy. So
That's awesome. I know where he gets that from because his dad, who played for the Giants as well. I never played with Dave. He's younger than me, but he's pretty intense too. But that's awesome, guys. Well, I tell you what, I really appreciate you guys coming on here, sharing a little bit about the Antlers. I know I'm proud of you guys. All the alumni are, and I'll be out there Friday night, man. I'm going to come down there. I might come down pregame, do some one-on-ones, right? Get out there after a little bit because I love Antler football. I can't wait for that first touchdown and to hear that the Elkhorn Antler fight song, right? It's going to take me back to 2020, right? And I hope you guys have a similar type season. So again, thanks for joining us, guys. I really appreciate it. For you guys that are listening, just a reminder, obviously you can follow us on YouTube at Bober Academy's our handles. Check out our school account. We got some great stuff in there, and stay tuned for this podcast every week. I love bringing offensive line on, right? Because you see the quarterbacks and the receivers and running backs, they got all kinds of, notoriety, but I want to shine a spotlight on the men up front, right? The real true guys that work and make a team go. So with guys like Liam and Houston led by Coach McVey, I know the Antlers are going to have a great season. So gentlemen, go get some rest, have a couple of days of practice, and we'll see you out there on Friday night. Best of luck to you guys. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice one.